Hey, welcome to a new video. Today we are back at Magarigawa, Japan's craziest private track. Today it's a little bit different. We're here to check out a JDM car, one of the most unique R34 builds I've ever come across here in Japan. We're going to dissect the car and take a look at all the details. This car is quite a bit of a mystery type of build because Nakane Racing Design is not like a established tuning shop in the whole GT-R world here in Japan. It's something a little bit newer that came along maybe 10-15 years ago, so probably not as well known as, say, Top Secret, HKS, Mines, and so on. But what these guys do is approach builds in a very meticulous, unique, and almost obsessive way, which we really like. To kind of break it down, we're going to start from the exterior first, starting off with all the aero pieces that may be familiar, but then again, some aren't because they've been slightly modified and kind of personalized. So let's start from the front. So first thing, of course, we have the Nismo Series 1 bumper. You'll notice that they actually got rid of the little recess here in the center where the number plate, the Japanese number plate, sits. This is mainly because this, of course, was the shop's track demo car, so it did not need a number plate. Cleans up the front of the car. They've added a custom carbon fiber splitter which protrudes quite a lot, gives it a very aggressive yet conservative look because, it's not that crazy, but it just has the effect it needs to have at the racetrack. That's mated to a Nismo Z-Tune FRP front fender. You can see it has a little air outlet here to get hot air away from the engine bay. And it's got some Hasemi Racing side skirts. We'll talk about the side exhaust when we mention the engine. And as we go around the back. So yeah, as you can see, there is no recess, that kind of half oval shape that kind of allows the exhaust to stick through here. It almost looks like they even tucked the diffuser a little bit tighter to the bumper. Really makes it look nice and clean. We have the blow-by exhaust here with a nice garden hose, proper JDM approach to getting rid of blow-by gases from the catch can out the back when they're not needed. The car sits on TSW forged rims. This is another high-end Japanese wheel company from Osaka. They do mainly wheels for supercars, hypercars, very expensive forged stuff. And behind that is a pretty sick AP Racing braking setup. All right, one detail I wanted to touch on, again, when it comes to the brakes, is the fact that usually the calipers on a GT-R are over on this side, but they actually went to the trouble of fitting them over on this side, kind of handling weights hanging off the hub, basically, unsprung mass, and keeping it as close as possible to the center of the car. Nice little touch, bit of an ADD type detail, but we do like that. The car actually sits on some Advan A060 slicks, 280 all around, and the AP Racing package back here, it sits on the usual place. But cool little details already. At the back we have a SARD GT wing with massive end plates that drop down pretty much to the trunk height of the car. Very aggressive. And then we move into the engine side of things. This is where stuff goes pretty crazy, wild. And this is one of my favorite engine bay looks. This is an engine built by Auto Gallery Yokohama. You can tell because they have a very unique style when they build their race engines, basically using RB20 cam covers, giving the RB26, or in this case the RB28, a very unique old school motorsport look. So yeah, the heart of this N1 blocked RB28 build is an HKS Step 3 stroker kit, which adds another 200cc of capacity into the mix. We have a T88 38 GK, so the biggest version of the T88, and of course that generates all the soundtrack you would ever need, especially as it's amplified through this Group A inspired side exit exhaust. The external wastegate kind of dumping into one of the two pipes there. Amazing sounds. Over on the intake side we have a Nismo GT Plenum that's been kind of polished up, grinded down to get rid of the casting finish. Nice and smooth, kind of like a motorsport look. Again, a little detail that Auto Gallery Yokohama does. And Nakane Racing Design collaborated with Auto Gallery Yokohama on the build, and it is quite special to look at. Has that unmistakable motorsport feel. Really cool with the HKS slide cam pulleys here, HKS timing belt, and even a little purple lightweight pulley right there to kind of color match. Another cool, interesting detail is that this car does away with a strut tower bar. They actually prefer to stiffen up the chassis. You can see the two bars coming in from the firewall. These actually extend onto the custom roll cage that we'll look at once we take a look at the interior, but it's pretty much like a race car build. All the details very well thought out. We have an ARC radiator side flow with an air separator tank over there and all the goodies. Check out the titanium pipe here, all the welding work, lobster tail connecting up to this big K&N filter. Maybe it's a Blitz item, I can't really tell. Very cool little detail. When it comes to the transmission, this is actually running a custom Auto Gallery Yokohama 5-speed box mated to an ATS triple plate clutch, and at the back we have a Trick OS Geekin differential. Alright, so we moved the 34 along here where the big pool is at Magarigawa. I can show you some of the shots that Alec took. And again, we have to concentrate on all the details. So what's left? The interior. Again, this is, you know, a time attack build, so you can imagine that everything that has been gone into it is basically to make it more of a time attack track car. So the interior has been fully stripped out, right down to the paint. It's actually probably been stripped of all its sound deadening and repainted white to match the custom roll cage. Multi-point cage that really stretches right across the cabin. You can see the gusseted areas along the A-pillar. The dash is being stripped away, and in its place we have this carbon fiber item that holds up all the necessary equipment that was added here. We have a brake bias adjuster here. We have the HKS mixture controller, a couple of lights, the controller for the Defi main instrumentation here, and we have the circuit attack timer and the Neko Corporation AF700, an old school lambda sensor display that is being used in Japan for the last 25 years. Always remember seeing that on top secret builds. Down here we have the AP Racing pedal box. Cool that they got rid of the stock pedal setup for a more race ready solution. Doors are FRP. We got a Bride or Brido bucket seat here with the GT-R logo. Let's go over to the passenger side. Take a look over here. We got a V-Spec 2 stock seat. Nice to see this again. One of the remaining things from the stock car. And you can see what I mean with the whole chassis being stripped down to the bare metal and all the wires tucked under there behind this makeshift dashboard, which kind of makes it look like a GT car. But have a look at that. Super cool. That's the lever to actuate the Auto Gallery Yokohama 5-speed close ratio transmission and the Nismo titanium shift knob. Alright, so back of the car, trunk area, you can see how the rear SARD wing is actually mounted with this aluminum bracing to hold it in place and actually get full use out of it rather than just bending the trunk lid. Inside here we have the custom fuel system. You got the two Bosch Motorsport 048 pumps and the custom surge tank being fed from the stock tank down there and a tiny little LiPo battery. And you can see how the stiffening has gone right across into the rear suspension turrets. And all the electronics that the 34 came with pretty much gutted out. All right, now that we had a look at the car, let's take it out on track. Basically, I'm sure it's what everybody wants to see. Hear this monster RB28 in action through the side pipes. Let's bring the car to the pits and get it ready for its outing. All right, so car came in for a little check. You know, running that much boost, there's always the problem of pipes slipping off, especially with all the undulations and different cambers that Magarigawa has. It really does twist everything about the car, so they're having a look here, making sure everything is on point before the owner is able to head out and have another couple of laps of fun. We got Nakane-san here checking things over for leaks. Right, so the car is coming out again. And the way it works here at Magarigawa, you line up here and then they open the shutter for you and you can go out with your side-piped R34 Time Attack Beast. What a sound this car makes. Right, let's go check it out. So I decided to come just outside here from the actual main pits. Basically, we are at the very top of the track. Feeding into this kind of S-bend here is that crazy off-camber section. And we're just gonna wait for the owner to pump it through here with the 34 because it sounds like nothing else. Definitely unlike most of the cars you see here at Magarigawa, which tend to be extreme exotics, whether this God damn, that sounds ridiculous. Kind of reminds me of the Nürburgring 24-hour race. I went to see the Falcon R34 back in the day. I think it was either 2002 or 3. And that's the sounds you would get as it passed, well, pretty much area of the Nordschleife. Of what a sound. I've come up even higher elevation wise, but kind of lower compared to the track. My God, RB26 at Magarigawa. Does it get better than this? Honestly, seriously, it's too good. Right, I'm gonna go find another spot, see if I can check out the 34, maybe along the main straight. Right, new vantage point here. This is probably as high as you can get viewpoint wise onto the track, and you know, it just reminds you just what an amazing place Magarigawa is. Got all the villas here and the hotel behind me, and the owner coming up for his entry lap back into the pits. I swear it sounds like a GT car. And in he goes. And you know what? I really have to give props to the owner because not only has he picked up a crazy, you know, built in Japan demo car from maybe a brand that not everybody knows, but he's not afraid to use it. Like, he's here in Japan. He's got time here at Magarigawa to put it to the test. He doesn't even pit in, he just stops. Just enough time for these guys to have a quick once over, and then boom, he's out again, maximizing his sessions here at Magarigawa. So big thumbs up for me for that. We enjoy the true passion of a guy that's literally here to enjoy his time behind the wheel, something very special. And that said, he goes out again. All right, new vantage point. Came all the way down here to where you pop in from the access road here, behind this beautiful Japanese traditional tree. And here is the 34 coming up. Disappears up the hill here. You can really get a feel for the gradients. In the space of a couple of corners, he's gone from that kind of altitude all the way to being on top of me. Magarigawa is really crazy when it comes out, you know, to the layout and how it was designed. Super fun track to drive, and pretty scary at times because you do have some minimal runoffs and pretty much blind spots as you come up the hill, but that adds to the whole experience. All right, that wraps up this video. Massive thank you to the owner for calling me out today at Magarigawa last minute. I didn't even know he was in town and was testing this car. Today was kind of a shakedown test for him. Massive, thank you to him for inviting us out and being able to kind of showcase a car this special at an equally special location. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. There's more stuff coming from Japan, and check back soon for more.